Hey, how's everybody today? So I'm back. So I just want to say first off, okay, I got a guy outside here cutting the grass, and I want to say welcome to Indiana because that's where I am. So, second thing I want to say, I want to give a big shout out to all my veterans out there. Today is Red Friday, and I hope we're all wearing red today. See that? I hope we're all wearing red today because I got my red on, and that means remember everyone deployed. Okay? So I just want to give a big shout out to all my veteran friends out there. So, yes, indeed, I am back. Good to be back. Back with coffee and me. Actually, I don't have coffee today. I got my friendly monster drink that gives me enough energy to take care of everything. All right, so my apologies. I am outside. If you can hear the guy with the lawnmower, I'm sorry ahead of time. So, okay, without further ado, my name is Tracey Pacheco Medeiros, and I am a suicide attempt survivor, an author, and an advocate, here to publicly share the lived experience voice of an attempt survivor, and hope to bring other attempt survivors and their families, close friends, out of the shadows and into a safe and more accepting environment. I also hope that these little chats that I do here prove to be helpful um, to those who are professionally working, with us to help support us. You know, um, I admit I am frustrated that there has still not been a more national response to develop support resources to bring the lived experience of the suicide attempt survivors and their impacted families voices to all tables within the suicidology. That's why I began to, take my coffee cup to a virtual live stream setting, you know, and host simple chats about topics that might be helpful to others, hoping to encourage others um, to join the table and join the conversation, or maybe start their own conversation of their own, to step into the light, so to speak. Um, so in 2014, I was invited to participate in a documentary titled "A Voice at the Table." It was a call to action to include the lived experience of attempt survivors to better inform discussions, decisions, and policies at the table in a suicide prevention, intervention, and postvention, because there were so few resources available for attempt survivors and our impacted family and friends. The documentary producer Anne Marie Matulis and I then created a peer-to-peer wellness workshops for attempt survivors and their impacted family and friends. And so in 2017, I published a conversation memoir, Embracing Imperfection, the healing journey of a suicide attempt survivor. So several hundred copies have been donated to middle schools and high schools in the Bristol County, Massachusetts area. Anne Marie and I co-presented um, in, in an informational overview of the workshops at the 2019 International Association for Suicide Prevention Congress, which is the IASP in Derry, Londonderry, Northern Ireland. Now, that was a blessing right there to do something like that overseas. Um, I was very fortunate for that, and I'm not sharing this, pat myself on the back or anything, because that's not who I am, but to, rather urge others with lived experience to pick up the ball and just go and run with it. We must break the silence. We need to tear down the walls of stigma and come together to save lives by helping others with our experience. Know that they're not alone, because you're not, and a lot of people think that we are alone, like even me. I used to think that all the time, that I was all by myself, that I was unique, and and stuff like that. So with the onset of the the pandemic and everything, the workshops went virtual, and a coffee and me virtual chat from home or on the road. That's when that evolved for me. I just had this thought one day. I was out here in Indiana visiting my family, and I just decided to do a whole week's worth of coffee and me's first thing in the morning before I went to go visit for the day, and that's how it began. So in 2021, a voice at the table was formally recognized by the IRS. Sorry, I'm like really tongue-tied today. As a nonprofit. The monthly wellness workshops have been delivered across the country within the national celebration of the release of the 3-digit 988 to simplify reaching out for crisis help. Now, I know why many in suicidal crisis will hesitate, okay, to want to make what might be a very life-saving phone call. The question will arise, will they lock me up, is one of the questions, because, when I was feeling that way, and this is coming from my experience, I'm not saying everybody has this experience, but from my experience is that that was always my question before I would pick up and dial a hotline number to try to talk to somebody. There needs to be an equal aggressive campaign to clarify what does and does not happen when a person in crisis dials 988. Will you call the cops on me if I'm just talking, this is my thoughts of suicide, because a lot of people get scared of that. They don't want to go to the hospital. I know how it feels, to wonder if I'll get locked up, for actually telling the truth, when most of the time is that I just needed someone to talk to, and tell me that, hey, it's going to be okay, So several years ago, I went to my counseling appointment on crutches yet. I had been injured in a minor accident at work at the time. So in the past, I had been very open about my suicidal thinking, and she made this huge leap from something I said almost a year earlier into this accident. To this day, I still don't know how she did it, but anyways, I was insulted, and I totally let her know about it. Would you believe that I was headed to leave her office? I found several police officers standing outside. They surrounded me, and they looked very shocked, by the way. I mean, I wasn't sure what they expected to see, but there stood all of me, like 5 feet, nothing, right? On crutches yet, so I suspect maybe they thought they were going to find someone that was really psychotic and out of control. So they took me to the hospital. Then in spite, of my protests from the hospital, they were going to transfer me over to a state facility. So when the EMTs were taking me to this state facility, I had to give them directions, okay, because they got lost. Now, does that sound like someone that needed to be locked up or what? I mean, damn, you just can't make this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I wish I could, you know, tell you that my story is unique. But if you talk to other attempt survivors, you will hear, sadly, very sadly, hear many similar stories such as mine. Inappropriate responses to sincere requests for help. That's why they're, you know, there are so many who would and could benefit from dialing 988. Such a large percentage will not make that call. You know, I feel like that we must do better out there. So please, you know, please help me break the silence. You know, I ask professionals, please listen to us, you know, hear what we are saying, you know. I understand there's liability and everything. You know what I mean? You don't want to lose your license. I get it, you know, but find out if we really do have the means. Find out if, you know, we really are going to go through with it. You know what I mean? Or is it just the fleeting thought that we have, and that we're confused, we're depressed, we're sad, we're everything, you know? There's no such thing as a one size fits all here, you know, for all our recovery from suicidality. You know, be open to options, you know, lean on peer-to-peer resources to blend in with counseling, you know, and don't just tell someone they should call 988, you know, sit with them, you know, when they do, you know, because some people are scared too, you know. So let's break the silence. Let's together create a life worth living, you know. And I just want to say one last thing, you know, thank you for joining me today. And I totally appreciate all of you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Please be on the lookout for my next one. And I will catch you later. Peace out, people.